You see the blue and red lights flash in your rear view. Your stomach drops. You pull over, car in park, engine off if you're smart. And then, right at that moment, maybe 4 seconds after you stop, you do something that flips a switch in the officer's mind. And you don't even know you're doing it. That one move, that tiny automatic reflex, that's the exact moment you lose control of the entire stop. Most people spend the whole interaction worrying about what they're going to say or whether they'll get a ticket. But none of that matters yet, because you already set the tone before a single word is spoken. I'm going to show you what that moment is, why it's so dangerous, and exactly what to do instead, so you walk away with your calm intact, and maybe even a warning instead of a citation. Picture this. You just pulled over. Your heart's racing. Your first instinct? Get your documents ready. You're trying to be helpful. So you unbuckle, lean over, pop open the glove box, and start rummaging. Paper sliding, maybe you're digging through the center console, or twisting to reach your back pocket. From inside the car, it feels like you're just being proactive. Normal. Now rewind. Same moment, but from the officer's eyes. They're walking up, scanning the vehicle through the glare of their own headlights. They see a silhouette. Suddenly, that silhouette dips down, hands disappear below the window line. The driver's rummaging through something they can't see. Is it a registration? Or is it something else? The officer's brain doesn't wait for an answer. It goes straight into threat assessment mode. Hand moves closer to their belt, grip tightens, adrenaline spikes. They approach with a completely different energy now. Tense, hypervigilant, ready for the worst. That's the hidden cost of rushing to be helpful. You didn't just grab your license. You triggered an alarm bell you never knew existed. Here's the problem. Every traffic stop starts the same way for an officer, with zero information about who you are. They don't know if you're a tired parent heading home or someone with a warrant and a weapon. The only thing they have to go on in those first few seconds is what they can see. And what they see is movement. Police training drills into them a simple survival rule: hands kill. If they can't see your hands, they can't read your intent. And when an officer can't read your intent, the entire situation escalates. Not because they want it to, but because their safety demands it. So that innocent scramble for papers, that's the moment control slips away. Not when they ask for the documents, not when they run your information. It's the second your hands disappear without a word. Now here's where it changes. Let's rerun that same stop the right way. You pull over, turn on your interior light if it's dark, roll down your window, then place both hands on the steering wheel 10 and 2, or just resting on top, and keep them there. You don't move, you don't dig, you wait. From the officer's perspective, they walk up and see a driver who is still illuminated, hands completely visible. Immediately, their threat level drops. There's no mystery, no sudden movement to decode. They know exactly what you're doing, waiting for them. That one simple posture communicates more safety than 100 polite words. This is the handshake before the handshake. A silent signal that says, I'm not a threat and I respect what you're walking up to. Now when they reach the window and ask for your license and registration, you still don't lunge for anything. You say, calmly, officer, my wallet is in my back pocket. I'm going to reach for it now, slowly. Then you move. Then you tell them, my registration is in the glove box, I'm going to open it. Then you open it. You announce. Then you act. Every single time. This does something powerful. It keeps you predictable. Predictable is safe. Predictable is non-threatening. And when an officer feels safe, they move from defensive to professional. You've given them a reason to treat you with the same respect you're showing them. That phrase, announce, then move, is worth tattooing on your brain, because most people do the exact reverse under stress. They move first, think later, and that slip is what makes a 5-minute traffic stop turn into a high-tension event. The law didn't change, your driving didn't change, your body language changed everything. This goes back to those first few seconds we talked about, that window where your hands left the wheel. If you can train yourself to freeze that impulse to just be still, you flip the entire script. Instead of the officer walking up already on edge, they walk up curious, open. And when they see you're calm, they often mirror that calm. It's a biological thing. One nervous system talks to another. Now let's get really practical. You're pulled over on the side of a loud highway. Your heart is pounding. Your brain is screaming, get your stuff, get your stuff. That's the moment you lock your hands on the wheel and take one slow breath. You say to yourself, he or she can't see my good intentions, only my movements. That little mental shift changes everything. Another common mistake people make once the stop is underway, they argue the ticket at the window. They reach for their phone to record without saying anything. They make sudden gestures while explaining. All of those are just versions of that same original error, moving without communicating. If you want to record, you announce it. Officer, for both our safety, I'm going to grab my phone and put it on the dash. Again, you announce, then move. No surprises. The framework here is so simple you can teach it to anyone in 2 minutes. I call it the safe stop sequence. Park. Hands visible. Wait. When addressed, respond calmly and announce every movement before you make it. That's it. That's the whole game. And here's why it works on a deeper level. Law enforcement trainers talk about a concept called pre-attack indicators. Before an assault happens, certain behaviors almost always appear: furtive movement, Hands concealed, excessive shifting around, reaching without explanation. Those signs spike an officer's heart rate faster than any insult ever could. When you remove those indicators, you stop looking like a threat profile and start looking like a normal person who just got pulled over for a taillight. That one decision to keep your hands on the wheel and wait changes everything. It doesn't just keep you physically safer, it changes the legal flavor of the stop. If things ever get blurry later, you're the person who was clearly non-threatening, clearly cooperative, clearly in control of themselves. That matters. If this is helping you understand something most people never learn, hit subscribe. We break down these everyday high-stakes situations in simple, real-world terms every week. No jargon. No scare tactics. Just what actually works. So let's pull it all together. The exact moment you lose control isn't when the lights turn on. That's not when the officer asks a question. It's that tiny automatic reach for your glove box or your pocket before you've established contact. It's the movement without communication. Fix that and you master the entire interaction. From now on, let your hands on that wheel be your first and strongest statement. The officer sees it. Their brain registers it. And you've already won the most important part of the stop. The start. Because here's the final truth. The traffic stop doesn't begin when they walk up to your car. It begins the second you choose to move or stay still, and most people get that wrong instantly. Have you ever caught yourself doing the automatic dig for documents move before the officer even reaches your window? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your stories, and if you've ever noticed how a stop changed once you stayed still, see you in the next one.